Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I want to come on here before it got too much further at my time here at Prime Inc. And today I wanted to talk to you primarily about my orientation experience. And this is my experience. This is my opinion. This is what happened to me. So first of all, some quick background about me. I got my CDL in about 2013, I believe it was. Went over the road as a flatbed truck driver for TMC Transportation. Then did some local work. Then took some time off, opened a business. And I also did some fast food work and did some local, like just cargo van deliveries for a small company. And I wanted to get back into the industry. And so after applying at multiple different places, I finally picked up the phone, called Prime Inc., spoke to my recruiter, his name is Derek, and asked him if there was a, what's the word I'm going for, a refresher course, if I would be able to take a refresher course and be able to get back into the truck. He said yes, and so I was able to go that direction. So I resigned from my job, and from there, he got me a Greyhound bus ticket. And I know there's a lot of talk about Greyhound, transportation to orientation online. I just want to let you know I was offered the option to get an airplane ticket or even a rental car. There's different rules for different ways to do things. I said, hey, I'll take the Greyhound, that's fine with me. They're able to get the ticket for you. It's paid up front. You just jump on the Greyhound and ride. Whereas, rent a car would have been nicer. I could have brought my sleeping bag, a lot more stuff to be able to get into the truck, even with my trainers. So I was limited because I chose the Greyhound. And I also didn't really want to drive all those hours and then be tired for orientation. So my thought process was, hey, I've been in a Greyhound before. That's how I got to my previous companies. I can do it again. So that was my choice. And I want to say, don't quote me on this, talk to your recruiter. That's really how you need to get most of your questions answered. Just talk directly, because it's case-by-case situation in a lot of these situations of what they're going to tell you, if they're even going to hire you, if they want to hire you, what's all going on with that. Discussing it with a recruiter is the best way to go. But just sharing my experience here, if I'm not mistaken, I think if I had gotten an airplane ticket that in the rent-a-car, I think I would have been reimbursed that following Friday after I made it to orientation. So like I say, with me, my financial situation, it was much easier for them to pay for the Greyhound ticket, and just be able to get on and ride towards orientation. In my case, I went to Piston, Pennsylvania. So far, that's the only terminal I've been. I'm actually headed tomorrow, as soon as I get my hours back, to the Springfield terminal. So maybe I'll share some of that in a future video. But all my experience came out of Piston, Pennsylvania. So basically, long story short, they got me there on a Sunday. I arrived on a Sunday, traveled all day the night before. It was pretty crazy going I'm based out of North Carolina, so I had to leave out of Fayetteville. Then went up to Raleigh, and then went up to DC, and went on up to New York, and then finally ended up at the Wilkes-Barre bus stop, and was picked up by the shuttle there. So that got into my hotel, and they have a hotel there in Piston. I believe it's like a Holiday Inn, Best Western. It might be a Best Western, actually. And it's like trucking companies do. They actually don't own the hotel. They contract with it. It's not fancy, but it has the basics. You're going to be bunking with another driver. So you're going to have your bed, and another driver's going to be in the other bed with you. In my case, I was put in a room with an experienced driver, and that may be because I am experienced. This guy had previously worked with Prime, went to some other stuff, and was coming back to Prime, which was interesting to meet somebody who was coming back. and in a sense regretting that they had left a little bit, but well, whatever. So you'll bunk with them, and I mean, the way they do it, and this is how just about all trucking companies do it, where you know, the rooms are not going to be the cleanest and they're not going to be the fanciest, because you have one driver leaves, whether he goes with a trainer or he goes home, and so they will maybe change the sheets, change the towels for that side of the room. The other guy's still there until he gets sent out. And so, you know, like I say, it's nothing fancy. I mean, you're going to have soap, you're going to have towels. I mean, they don't clean them every day. They come in basically like on Monday and Wednesday, getting prepared for the next class. A couple times a week, you're going to get your towels and you know, the place, you know, buffed up a little bit. If you have food in the refrigerator, they won't even touch it, type thing. But that's just how it goes. The Piston PA terminal, or the Piston PA hotel, is right next to a Walmart, so you can get anything you need, whether food or sleeping bags or whatever, right there. It's really convenient, right next to the hotel. You get breakfast. It's a pretty good breakfast there at Piston, for free. It's part of your hotel stay. It's paid for by the company. They have turkey sausage, they have pork links, they have white egg omelets, they have yellow egg omelets, they have gravy and biscuits, toast, muffins, apples, oranges, bananas. They have pancakes you can make. They have yogurt, boiled eggs, milk, cranberry juice, apple juice. It seems like there's one other kind of juice. I'm sure there's stuff I'm leaving out. That's just what I remember. You can get oatmeal. They got the raisins, the brown sugar, all that. They got the toppings. They got the honey, all that stuff. You have complimentary coffee all day long at the hotel as long as you're there. So I arrive Sunday night, check in, get up Monday morning, get some breakfast. Where you all have to be out there. They give you a paper with the instructions where to be out on the terminal, all that good stuff. So, or be down at the shuttle to get to the terminal. So you get on the shuttle and you are shuttled over to the terminal, and you go in there and you sit down in orientation class. They give you a packet, and you're going to spend most of your first day, really, if you get there like on a Monday or if you get there on a Wednesday, you're going to spend a lot of those days doing CBTs, computer-based trainings. So you expect to watch a ton of video, takes ton of tests, sign a ton of paperwork, contracts, all kinds of stuff that you'll be signing going through. And so then on Tuesday, somewhere along the line too, you also will need to take a simulator test. And you do have to pass a certain score. I think it's like over 80%. Don't quote me on that. To be able to pass the simulator to even be looked at as a driver. If you're really, really bad, I guess you could get sent home. If you keep failing it, they give you 2 or 3 tries. I don't know how many tries exactly on the simulator to get past. But they'll do different different scenarios: snow, rain, sleet, people jumping out in front of you, just real life experiences on the simulator. In my case, I got a little bit of motion sickness, and they are prepared for that. They have trash cans. They tell you to prepare. If you need a hurl, go ahead. Before my last simulation test, I had to take my hoodie and my hat off and try to breathe deeply. I don't know why, but it did. I think I was holding my breath at some of the scenarios because they seem so real. So basically you got to pass that, and then around Wednesday you should be done with just about everything. And meanwhile, you also get lunch and dinner for free. They give you a card, and you can go to the cafeteria. And I love the food. Okay, it all depends what you expect. I love free food, so you know, if it's paid for. They had burgers, they had salmon. I think you're allowed like $12 per meal. You can combine it and get something more expensive. They have pizzas. I still haven't tried the pizzas. But their burgers are like on the grill. They're so delicious. If you have allergies, you want, vegetarian, whatever, they will custom make you a meal. And they have free complimentary coffee and teas all day long. Love that too about it. Beautiful terminal there in Piston. So in my case, I had to go in for a sleep study as well as get my medical done through their doctor. Because I'm overweight, I'm old, so if you're in that situation, it's pretty common. It's pretty common. Most companies are doing this now. So I was able to. I had to go from there to. Once I got cleared to the yard. What I believe was on Wednesday. By Wednesday afternoon, I was cleared to the yard. So I started working on my pre-trip pretty seriously, of trying to pass my pre-trip. Because they make you test out. So you have to be, in my case, since I had experience, but I had taken some time off, they had me test out with a refresher course. So I was out on the yard, working on the pre-trip, trying to get that refreshed, rememorized, out with all the guys with permits. They're out there practicing backing, they're practicing pre-trip, all that. I believe it's by Wednesday night, I get this phone call from my trainer, my PSD trainer, they call it, and he's calling me, and he's like, "You ready to drive?" And I'm like, "Yikes." So I said, "I got to get my stuff at the hotel." So I raced back to the hotel as soon as I could get on the shuttle. Took a minute, ran into Walmart, I had to buy a sleeping bag. I was not ready because I was not expecting it to happen this fast. I was like, I'll have some time. They'll call me and they'll be like, we'll be there in a couple days. So I had to grab a pillow, sleeping bag, some food, my clothes, of course, from my hotel. And I jump on his truck. And so I was with him Wednesday night through, he brought me back. It was either Friday night or Saturday morning. And I think it was Friday night, he dropped me off at the hotel. And so I go out to the pad on Saturday, and I spent all day Saturday pretty much just studying for the pre-trip inspection. And I did 10 hours with him. We went up into New York, we did deliveries, and he primarily wanted me to sit in the right seat and work on my pre-trip, and we went over it and everything. A real nice guy. I believe he's from Jamaica, has very heavy accent. My only issue with him was I couldn't always understand what he was saying, and that was a little bit frustrating, but just worked through it and just tried to, what did you say, and just try to listen and get what he was saying. So they really, really focused on safety, slowing down, being careful, all of that. So in my experience, I believe my test was on Sunday. It wasn't actually scheduled. They worked me in. So I spent all day Saturday studying best I could, just trying to rest. I was working out, trying to drop my weight too. And so I go and I... as part of the test, you'll have to back into a spot. They don't care if it's really straight, just between two trailers, get in between the lines. That's part of the test there. So I went through the entire pre-trip and with my examiner, and then from there we went out for a road test. And in his case, he was like, I saw you backing. You can do it. Congratulations. Let's just get you submitted. So that was pretty awesome feeling to get past that step. They do give you on your badge, their card. They'll give you once you get to a certain level. They give you basically once you get cleared out to the yard. You don't get paid. You're not going to get paid. Basically during this entire orientation week, you just get room and board, and then they give you basically a $200 advance so you can buy food, They encourage you, don't go pay bills, don't sit at home. You're going to need this. So basically, you're going to need that for your food, for sleeping bag, anything that you might need. So you just try to budget that, do the best that you can. But I tested out on Sunday, and let's see here. I actually got this free hat for passing on the first time. That was pretty cool. So I was able to go to the gift shop and pick that up. I don't know if they do that for everybody or what the whole deal was. But again, I'm just sharing my experience. That's what happened with me. So it was, it was a pretty cool experience. A lot of my PSD experience, and in the future videos, I'm going to talk about my my training, my 30,000 miles that I did with the trainer, and where I am right now, just get you caught up to speed and some of my thoughts on the company. Feel free to like and subscribe. I also will put my driver code in the comments there. In case you need a driver code, it can help you when you're signing up and putting an application. If you put that code in, can just help elevate your application that I helped you make the decision to go ahead with Prime Inc. All right, I'll see you in a future video.